So we'll deploy our first EC2 instance using Terraform. So I created a folder EC2, and inside that we have opened the terraform.tf file. So let's add the required values. Terraform required version, is greater than equal to 1.11.0. Required providers AWS, so we'll specify the source for the AWS provider, that is corp/AWS, and the version we would like to use, that is 5.89.0. So as we are going to use just AWS, so I will just add this much, the terraform.tf, and save it. Next we'll create a main.tf, the main.tf we'll add first the provider and the region. Provider and region. Provider would be AWS, and region next we will specify the resource that we are going to use, that as we are going to use EC2 or AWS instance, so we'll use AWS underscore instance, and we'll name it auto tools. AMI we will be using to get the AMI details. Go to your console, AWS console, go to EC2, select AMI catalogs. So we will select this one, non-EFI x86 64-bit. Other values that we require for an EC2 instance is instance type. So we will be using t3.micro, which comes under free trial. So I would like to SSH to my EC2 instance once it is deployed. So we will require a key pair to SSH into it. I already generated a key pair, so I will add that key pair with the key name. So now we need that key pair again and again when we try to accession our EC2 instance. We'll be reusing it. So for anything that we need to reuse again and again and has a similar value, we can use it as a variable. So I will just type var dot my key. I will create a var file later. Next value that we require is security group. So VPC security group, which allows SSH to your EC2 instance once it's deployed. So I have already created a security group in which I have allowed SSH from everywhere to that EC2 instance. So I will just specify that security group, and this is also the same value for all the EC2 instances, so I will use it as a variable. So var dot sg security group. So these are currently highlighted in red as it's not able to find those values. Next we'll create a tag or a name for the EC2 instance. So this is the visible name that will be shown in the instance running instances or the deployed instance in the AWS console. So I will give it a name, my auto tools instance. Okay. Let's save the file. Now let's create a variables.tf file. So new file in the same folder, variable. So here we will be using first variable, that is my key. So variable my key, let's add a description to it. Description my SSH key pair. Next, what type of value it will be? It will be a string. What will be the value? So it will be the key that I have created has name as MGT. Next we need to create a variable for security group. So variable sg description SSH enabled sg. This will be a type. List string. There will be multiple security groups, so I will be using a list. The actual value default equals to, I will get my security group info 0 8 ff. Save the file. Now once this is saved, we will require an we'll require to know the public IP address that is being assigned to our EC2 instance, so that we can access it using that public IP. So let's create a file, outputs.tf, which will provide us with the outputs. So what output you require? Output instance public IP description public IP of the instance, and the actual value that we are going to use is we'll add AWS instance auto tools. The auto tools name has been taken from the main.tf file public. So instead of IP we'll use the public DNS. Save the file. So now let's go to our configuration directory, Terraform EC2. So you can see only the files that I have created, but we need to initialize this folder. So we'll do with Terraform init. So it will download the AWS provider and create the state files. Once the Terraform has been initialized in the directory, you can see that there is some indentation uniformity issue, that it doesn't look properly indented or properly arranged. So what we can do for this is we can do a Terraform format. So now you can see that everything is neatly formatted. Next, do a Terraform validate to check for any errors. Terraform validate. So all the configurations that have been done it's valid. So let's do a Terraform plan to see how many changes or what are the changes that are going to happen. So it should show that only one change, that we will be deploying a EC2 instance. So as you can see, one change, and what the output that is required, the instance public IP. So now let's do a Terraform apply -auto approve. As you can see, our Terraform plan has been executed successfully. In the last, you can see that in the outputs it is showing us the DNS of the deployed instance. So open putty, go to SSH, auth, credentials, browse to your PPK file. Once that is added, copy the DNS name of the EC2 instance, public DNS name. By default for the EC2 AWS instances, user is EC2-user. We have now successfully logged in inside our EC2 instance. Once you have successfully SSH into your EC2 instance and checked everything, make sure to delete the instance using destroy to prove, as there are incidents where the EC2 keeps on running unknowingly. So make sure whenever you do a Terraform apply, also you perform a Terraform destroy once your testing is completed. Yeah, and that is also in testing environment, of course. As you can see, post destroy, want to destroy, and our EC2 instance has been terminated.